Hi, comrades. So, as everybody knows, Workers' World newspaper plays a central role in our political work and in our organization. For many people, including my wonderful bae, Danielle, being handed a copy of Workers' World at a demonstration or community meeting was their first introduction to the party. We have a lot to be proud of in our paper. It's been in print since 1959, and it's been in a continuous weekly paper since the early 70s. One of the last, if not the last, socialist weekly in the United States. I think the militant, they skip a few weeks throughout the year, so, you know. I'm so excited that the past archives are being digitized because flipping through the back catalog of Workers' World, you see the whole glorious history of the global people's struggle around the world since 1959. I want to give a huge round of applause to everyone who contributes to the paper. Deirdre, Monica, John, Kat, Chris, Milan, Leilani, Cheryl, and please forgive me because I know that I'm forgetting people, but please give it up for them. So, I know that some of you who are newer to the whole communism thing, probably thinking, and forgive me my Jerry Seinfeld impersonation, what is it with socialists and newspapers? Major corporate papers are collapsing all over the country from lack of circulation and advertising as the newspaper is overshadowed by the internet. Yet, you can go to an anti-war demonstration and pick up like 7 different leftist periodicals. Part of this is because Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Russian Revolution, raised the necessity of having a centralized nationwide newspaper to coordinate and centralize the theory and practice of the revolutionary socialists in that country. Another part is that for most of the past century, newspapers were the only way to talk to our class on a mass basis, the working class. This is the fundamental purpose of our paper, to reach our class, to offer our socialist politics, and to counteract the corporate imperialist media that bombards us from every angle 24/7. We want Workers' World to be a paper that anyone can pick up, see what you don't see in the corporate media, that there's resistance, that there are people in the streets, that there's another way, that there's another viewpoint. But the paper is not the only way that we accomplish this, of course. The only way you get a sick URL like workers.org is by joining the internet really early in the game. We've been propagandizing on the web since 1994. And I'd like to give a tremendous shout out to Gary, who manages this website. As far as I know, it's like single-handedly, and I know, and also Paul Teitelbaum, who I know works on workersworldparty.org. Something that comrades might know is just how much traffic workers.org gets. It's thousands and thousands every week. This may not sound like much, but on the biggest internet ranking site, we rank 50,000th out of the whole world, and 50,000. Doesn't sound like much, but there's like trillions of websites, right? In the socialism category on that same website, which is Alexa, we rank number 8. And they're like the sites ahead of us are things like Marxist.org. In these times, which, whatever. The only sites attached to a working class party that rank higher than us are International Socialist Organization and the Socialist Equality Party. And not to be sectarian, but if that's our top competition, I think we're in pretty good shape. But my generation and younger have grown up in an era of constant revolutionizing of technology, media, communication, the continual revolution of social media. We've also made great strides in this area, but this is certainly an area where we could improve in terms of utilizing social media to its full potential. And yet, while we push to reach as many as we can through every way that we can, which is really, in terms of social media, and we need to get a party Snapchat, that really has to be taken up by the youth in a serious way. We can't risk underestimating the necessity of a physical print paper. It's how we reach the incarcerated members of our class who recently who recently engaged in a historic strike, the migrant workers of our class, the most poor and oppressed who may not have constant access to the internet that so many of us take for granted. It's an organizing tool. Handing someone a paper can spark a face-to-face conversation that can build with someone more deeply than, dare I say, even 1,000 likes. On an internal level, the constant activity of filling a paper every week makes us disciplined. Our editorial staff has a deeply political call every Saturday morning to discuss the world political situation and to prioritize what goes into the paper. It helps us stay on top of things. Last year, Comrade Lamont, who's one of the paper's biggest fans, talked about he gave this talk basically last year and talked about the paper in a way that really stuck with me. He likened the paper to an amazing, talented, intelligent, brilliant, romantic partner whom we've grown used to. I mean, we've been together almost 60 years now. The honeymoon phase is long past. But while the paper might not be as shiny and new and exciting to us that have been around for a long time, for someone else who's never seen it before, it can be quite alluring. Comrades, so much work, love, time, and money go into producing the paper. If you're looking for a way to get plugged into Workers' World Party, please consider getting involved with the writing, editing, and production of the paper. The paper is such a powerful organizing tool. Please make the best use of it that you can. It can't help us if it sits in your office or in your trunk. Get it out to the community. Get it out to the class. Thank you.